People talk like, oh, this is great. It's going to do the work of millions of people in seconds. And granted, it does a lot of work in a short amount of time, which I think is going to be risky because it also had a pretty high failure rate. Either it just straight up crashed or what it came back with wasn't accurate. Manus does have a more accurate response in its research, or it's more accurate than OpenAI's deep research, but it's not perfect. And so it still has to be checked and validated. And, so it's not perfect. To those of you who are getting super excited about it, here's what I will tell you is that I watched these demos over and over and, watched as people said, oh, see, it can just do what humans do with no input. And I went, that is not an accurate assessment of what it's doing. Yes, it does a lot of things autonomously. And that's a good and a bad thing, because even some of these demos, and I watched some where they went sideways, it was like it was moving so fast, you didn't even have time to catch what mistakes it was making until it was already done. And if you think about some of the high risk things you might want a research analyst working on, you kind of don't want to go in front of like your shareholders before a board meeting, having just gotten something hot off the presses with no validation and go, speak confidently about how it is, only to find out that like, oops, turns out we had a bunch of hallucinations in there that, yeah, I know we went public with this, but that wasn't accurate. So you still need people involved and looking at how it was done. If you're a subject matter expert on something and AI does something, you notice that it's like half right. Like if you know what you're doing, you look at what it does and you're like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but this is not accurate. And I wouldn't do that. And that's not really the right way to go. No, gosh, absolutely not. This would do that. And I think about it as like book smarts versus street smarts. It'll give you all the technically correct information with a bunch of failure rates in it, but it doesn't really have the like practical contextual experience that people do.